Hey guys, it's Amber. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. So in my last Get Ready With Me, I talked about how I'm going to be doing some redecorating in my house because I just moved. Well, I've been doing a lot of decorating and I've also been doing a lot of decluttering. So I'm kind of taking those two things and bringing you a new type of video today, which is 10 things that you can declutter from your house right now. And these are things that nobody ever talks about. I mean, we talk about our shoes, we talk about our closets, but these are things that's like, okay, we all have these things. I think I'm not the only one, and we need to get rid of them. So today I'm going to share you the 10 things that I found in my house that I need to declutter immediately. The first thing is extra cords. I have a giant bin, I will insert a picture up here, of all the cords I found during my move. Things to like old webcams and old cameras and old this and that. Like there's so many things that we have that have gone cordless, and then we have these cords like old HDMI cords and old this cord and old that cord, and we just hold on to them. Maybe it's just me, but I'm like, why do we have so many cords and what are all these cords? So what I would recommend is make sure you have all your stuff operating. And if everything has a cord and it doesn't need the cord, then get rid of the cord, because there's no purpose in holding on to extra cords. Now there's always a good reason to have an extra extension cord or something like that around, but why do I still have this random phone charger that doesn't match the rest of our phones? I don't know. Somehow it got stuck in a drawer and nobody ever did anything with it. So today I'm getting rid of it. Next is old Tupperware. I find when I was moving, I'm like, why do I even have these 5,000 Tupperwares that don't have lids? I cannot be the only one whose all my Tupperware lids just magically disappear. Now I know on Amazon you can get some really nice Tupperwares for like meal planning and things, and it's just so much easier when everything is the same size, all the lids are the same size. And I know a lot of us or our moms would just use like old butter containers and things for Tupperware, and hey girl, if that works for you, use it. But if you have odds and ends of Tupperware lying around that don't match up to each other, just throw them out. There's no purpose in keeping those in your house and storing them for no reason. My third item is old decorations and knickknacks. I can't tell you how many just different styles of decorations and things. It's like, oh, somebody gave this to me and it was really nice and it was like 15 years ago and the style has changed, or somebody gave this to me for my wedding and so it's sentimental, or hey, I had a Southwest style house and now I don't, and I kept all these decorations because I spent a lot of money on them. No, guys, it doesn't matter. Unless it holds significant value to you. If someone gave you something, they gave it to you. It is your choice on what you want to do with it. And you need to decide if that item is worth taking up space in your home. If it's not like a family relic or something that's really important, if it's just like some random thing that someone gave you and you feel bad about getting rid of it, just don't. Don't feel bad. I struggle with that same thing. I'm like, someone gave this to me, I can't get rid of it. But if you have pillows or decorations or knickknacks or things that don't match your house currently, just don't think, well, what if I go back to the style? You're not going to go back to that style. You're going to get a new style. You're going to redecorate another way. Just let them go. We get to the point where we have so many little things on our shelves that it's just like, why are we keeping all of these things? And then you just have bins of old decorations. I mean, things come and go. I mean, for a while, like all wood decorations was in style. So maybe you had a ton of those, and maybe you're getting away from those and going towards something else. And so, you know, even if you put a lot of time and energy into making a wreath or something like that, and you're like, oh man, I spent so much time, but you're never going to use it again, just get rid of it. Number 4, craft supplies and kid craft supplies. I can't tell you how many like dried out markers, broken crayons. I mean, I cannot be the only one who's struggling with this. I go through this and I'm like, why do we need like 3, you know, pencil boxes full of broken mishmash crayons? Like, why don't we just get one set of crayons and keep them? That will be plenty. Or going through markers and how many of them are like half dried out, don't work anymore, and it's just things that just get shoved into a drawer, you just put into the craft supplies and you just don't think about it. Now this is one that I need to do as well. If you're into crafting, whether you're into rubber stamping or paper crafting or scrapbooking, there's a lot of those kinds of items that go in and out of style as well. And I know it's hard because you think, I could use this sometime. But like, if you have a bunch of stuff that you know you're honestly never going to use, why not give them to somebody else who's still enjoying it? You know, why hold on to a bunch of craft supplies if you literally never use it? Or just pick out the things you know you really love and get rid of the rest. There's always like churches and schools or things you could find to donate these craft supplies to that probably really enjoy it. Or people that you might already know that would love to take it. Number 6. Okay. Now this might just be a Utah thing, but you know, we tend to store food. And sometimes you're just like going in your food storage or going in the back of your pantry and you're just like, this is old. Like, you know, you go to that K-Slot sale and you buy that whole thing of green beans on sale and you're like putting it away for a rainy day, and that's great. But, you know, we have to realize that if we're going to stock up on food items, that we need to cycle them through just like anything else. Canned goods can expire. Now, I know there's a lot of canned goods that can be used past their sell-by date. That's just going to be your personal preference. You can look up and feel how comfortable you are. But I know from my family members, from me, from other people, you know, you get back to the back of the pantry. It can be a little scary back there as far as how far something has been expired. You need to just pull all that stuff out. Pull out your condiments and check them and make sure. Salad dressings and things like that don't last forever. You can check and make sure, is this going bad? Is it expired? You would not believe how many things I had in my fridge that were just sitting in there, like old barbecue sauce, old this, old that. And I'm just like, why is this still in here? It's not even good anymore. And yet it's taking up precious space in my fridge. It's taking up precious space in my pantry. And so guess what? I got rid of it all. Yay! So then I went ahead and got some wire baskets and I put things in there that I could organize, and now I can easily access all of my food and make sure that I'm rotating through things so I don't get, you know, half open box of crackers that's stuck at the back of the pantry for 6 months and now it's totally expired. All right, my next one, I'm also gonna put a little disclaimer, and this is blankets. Blankets are wonderful. They are great to have, and if you live in a cold environment, I know it feels like you can't have enough blankets. But it feels like for every child, you get a blanket, and then people give you blankets, and then you buy more blankets, and they get sick, and they get a blanket, and you change the bedding, and you get blankets and blankets and blankets, and before you know it, you have 6 tubs of blankets. Now, I do think blankets are a wonderful thing to keep in case of emergency, but there's so many people in women's shelters or homeless shelters who could really use these blankets. I remember a couple years ago, I got a Facebook message from someone who said that there was a family who just moved into my old neighborhood, and this lady was saying that they had nothing. They basically had bare mattresses, and I was like, you know what? I totally have old bedding for my kids that is just sitting in a drawer that I'm not using. They already have blankets on their bed. Why not give it to somebody who could actually use it? I mean, there's no purpose in using in blanket hoarding. Now, of course, there's like family quilts and things that have been handmade that are very special, or, you know, there are some special like blankets that I received for Little Miss or something like that that I'm going to keep. But as far as just like baby blankets that have just been used up, or old bedding, or things that you just change the style and they're really perfectly good condition, there's no point in just hanging on to these forever. Yes, it's great to have an extra set for guests or things like that. Beyond what you can reasonably use, just go ahead and donate them. There's so many people who get use out of a great blanket. All right, next is picture frame. I can't tell you how many empty picture frames that I had. I don't know why. Maybe it's just me. There's so many times that I get like pictures, and I'll do like, you know, put a bunch of picture frames up on like a buffet table or something, and then I take them down, I put something else up, or, you know, I switch pictures in and out, or I change the style of pictures, and then I just take those picture frames for whatever reason. I just kind of stack them up and put them in my storage room. And then I'm going through like, I do not need all these picture frames. Like, if I'm done displaying the photo, I should take the picture out of the picture frame, put it in like a book, or put it in a keepsake box or something to store the photo in so I can keep it, and then just get rid of the extra frames because they're glass and they take up space, and usually they're relatively inexpensive, so I don't find there's any reason to be keeping on to so many picture frames. I don't know why. Why did I have so many picture frames? Hey guys, so somehow I missed the footage of 8 and 9, but number 8 is old medicines. You would be surprised how many medicines expire after a year, and if you've had a sickness 1 year to the next, there's no point in holding on to the medicine because you'll probably be expired before you even use it. Also, medicines from like surgeries or other sicknesses that you have prescriptions, there's no point in holding on to those, so it's good to go through that regularly and get rid of anything that's expired or that you don't currently need. Next, number 9 is old books and magazines. If you have a book that is your favorite, of course it's worth keeping, but there's so many books that we read once and you just have no interest in ever reading again, so why hold on to them? You can just trade them in at a bookstore or donate them. And also magazines. There's so many things that I like pull out of magazines, the little articles to keep on like this or that idea. With Pinterest and things like that, there's so many ways to keep those kind of ideas online that I really don't need to keep a bunch of magazines around, cluttering up things. I can just put it all on my computer. And last but not least is CDs and DVDs. Now, if you're still like strong on your Blu-ray player, that is great, but we have completely switched to digital for the most part. So we have Vudu and iTunes. So there's so many of our movies that are accessible online. So it really doesn't make sense for us to keep 5,000 DVDs. And unfortunately, I did not get to declutter these before we left. So we did get them all boxed up and moved, but I'm just looking at these boxes upon boxes, and it's like, okay, if it's not worth buying digitally, then let's just get rid of it because they take up so much space and your kids just scratch them, and it's just like, it's so much easier just to go digital. And same thing with CDs. Like, I have some that I'll use in my CD car player or whatever, but I mean, just having an excess of CDs, just put them on your computer and just play them off your playlist. Like, you don't realize that sometimes just using all those cases and stuff, if you want to keep them, you know, put them in like a book or something that makes them easier to contain, because you realize how much space 300 DVDs takes up is a lot of space. And if you don't have a lot of space, that's space that you need for something else. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed these 10 things that you can declutter from your home right now. Are there any of these things that you need to declutter in your home? If not, what is the thing that you're holding on to that you have too much of, that you know you need to get rid of, besides makeup? But I do declutter that too. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. Bye!